Hi there, YouTube. This is Carlos here. I'm going to be doing a ban list analysis. This will be very quick and off the cuff. I'm just going to talk about some of my initial impressions. This is not a live reaction. I have seen the list before, but now that I have had some time to look at the list and analyze it, now that I'm not in the middle of a YCS, I just want to talk about some of my opinions on the changes and what impacts they'll have on the metagame. So let's get started with the bans. Right away, we have Cyberstein. Cyberstein is it's a fantastic hit. There's really not much to say here other than the fact that if you're wondering why Cyberstein got hit, it's not because of Exterio or anything like that. This card was hit because it was prominent in a literal tier 1 FTK that was piloted by Patrick Hoban into the top tables of YCS Philadelphia. And honestly, Cyberstein is one of those cards that just limits future design of fusion cards. Wow, say that 3 times fast. Honestly, it's a good thing it's gone. I don't think anyone's gonna miss this card. Super Heavy Samurai Scarecrow, on the other hand, is a card that is going to be a little contentious. A lot of people feel that it was too soon to hit Super Heavy Samurai. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, good riddance. It is not too early to hit Super Heavy Samurai. First of all, Scarecrow was not one of the new cards. The deck is still playable. Link 1s are broken. If you include Colossus as a Link 1, this is the 5th Link 1 to be banned. It's crazy. Link 1s were a mistake. Link 1s were a mistake. The deck is still playable. It's not as strong. It went from 15 1-card starters to 6 1-card starters. Whoa. Let me play the world's smallest violin for you. The deck is fine, and it can be played as an engine. But frankly, Link 1s are just inherently can lead to a lot of problems. Also, Super Heavy Samurai was enabling a lot of very degenerate tier 1 FTKs and hand loops, and frankly, I don't think we need that in the metagame. Diabolus the Mind Hacker, deserved, a very toxic card, even though it wasn't seen as much play. Everybody's playing this card, but nobody was really using it at YCS Philly because we're in such a hand trap metagame. And because we're in such a hand trap metagame, Diabolus was hardly ever coming out. So for that reason, it wasn't seeing a lot of play. Still, it's toxic, and we should just get rid of it. Appointer the Red Lotus, same thing. Same thing. It's just toxic. It's literally better than Trap Dust Shoot. Trap Dust Shoot is already banned. This is fine. This is fine. Branded Expulsion, also toxic. Yes, Branded can still Gimmick Puppet Nightmare lock you with Albion the Sanctifier Dragon, but it is much easier to interact with a monster effect than it is to interact with a trap card. And the new dragon can only summon them from the graveyard, not from the banish zone. So you can actually just out it with Bystials or with Bell, Crow, etc. It's much easier to play around Sanctifier than it is to play around Expulsion. And so for this, I say good. Honestly, everything in the Forbidden section gets my thumbs up seal of approval. The Forbidden section is on point, perfect. The limits are when things just start to get a little contentious. Blaster, fine, it's not going to do anything. Mathmech Circular, deserved. It's been 9 months. I think we've all had enough of Circular plus 4 hand traps. Circular is very difficult to interact with. Maybe if Circular sent for effect and not for cost, I could see it staying at 3, but honestly, enough is enough. It's just been too long. I may be almost as big of a hater of Mathmech as Joshua Schmidt is, but even I can put away my biases, and I trust other people can put away their biases and just say that it's been enough. It's been enough. It's been 9 months. The card can go to 1. There's still 7 copies of it. You have Circular, you have Sign Up Mining, you have Small World. Enough is enough. Psyframe Gear Gamma. This is contentious. This is contentious. Psyframe Gear Gamma is insane. This card is oppressive to a lot of strategies. Honestly, screw this card. I don't like it. I'm glad it's gone. But there is one thing I do not like. There's one thing I do not like. Gamma was hit and Shifter was not hit. Gamma was almost one of our only outs to Shifter. So I would have liked to have seen Gamma going to 1, and I would have liked to have seen Shifter going to 2 or even 1. I don't think it's fair to live in a format with only 1 called by and 1 Gamma. Versus 3 copies of Dimension Shifter. So aside from that, I'm very happy with the Gamma hit. I just would have liked to have also seen a Shifter hit accompany it. Denglong. Too soon to tell. Too soon to tell. This could cause a lot of problems. But it also requires running a lot of bricks to get the most value out of it. I don't know if just having a searchable counter trap is that great. Like, it's good, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see where this goes. We'll see where this goes. I haven't made up my mind on this one yet. Kashtira Rise Heart. Awful hit. Awful hit. This card should not be limited. I'll teach you why. Limiting a Rise Heart doesn't do anything against other decks that aren't named Kashtira, because those decks will still just have to play the game of draw the out. All limiting a Rise Heart does is it makes the Kashtira mirror match unbearable. And I think that this hit is actually one of the worst things you could possibly do. It doesn't decrease the power of Kashtira, it just makes their mirror match so much worse. And Kashtira will probably still be the best deck of the format, which means Kashtira players can still expect to play a lot of mirror matches. I think limiting a Rise Heart is one of the worst things in this ban list. Segue into one of the other worst things of the ban list, Pearly Delicious Memory. It's too soon. This is too soon. Scarecrow is not too soon. Super Heavy Samurai deserves to get a hit, and a Link 1 is a very good thing to hit. But Delicious Memory should not have been limited. It is way too soon. This deck has not had a chance to do anything yet. I understand the deck gets more support in the future, and maybe this is like a preemptive measure, taking some OCG examples, but honestly, it's just too soon. It's just too soon. This card should not be limited right now. Should it be limited in the future? Probably. Not right now. Not right now. Sacred Tree. It's fine. I think a little bit late. Naturia Runic wasn't doing much, but I think as a countermeasure to saying like we don't want Naturia Runic to come back at full power, I think this is fine. So yeah, not much to say about that hit. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Semi-limits. The semi-limits get even worse. Even worse. Herald is fine at 2. I'm guessing my bet is Herald will go to 3 in the next ban list. With all of these Shizu cards being limited, this isn't as broken as it used to be, so it could probably go back up to 3. Kashtira Unicorn at 2. This ain't it, Chief. Konami, this is such an L. Like, we really ban Scarecrow, we really limit Delicious Memory, and we really just give Kashtira a slap on the wrist. Like, limiting a Rise Heart doesn't do anything. Semi-limiting Unicorn does a tiny bit of something. But this is bad. Like, it's not even money, because Kashtira is literally going to gatekeep future decks, and it's already past its prime. Like, we're already a set past Kashtira. If it were up to me, I would have been like limiting Unicorn, semi-limiting Fenrir, limiting Birth, something. This does not do enough. This is laughable. Speaking of laughable, Lightning Storm to 2. Why? This is like limiting Shooting Riser. It's like, who cares? Runic Fountain to 2. This is like limiting Shooting Riser. It doesn't do anything. The only reason that decks ran more than 2 copies of Runic Fountain was because if your opponent banished the runic fountains face down off the top of your deck. Like if you were playing a runic deck versus Kashtira, and they banished your fountains face down, you literally lost automatically. So you were forced to play 3 copies of Fountain. But now that Mindhacker is banned, there is no reason to play 3 copies of Fountain. This hit is literally inconsequential. Inconsequential. Sky Striker, Mobilize, Engage. I like this one. I don't think Striker's that good. I gotta be perfectly honest. As a Sky Striker player, I absolutely love Sky Striker. I don't think it's that good. I think Engage could probably go back to 3, and it's fine. Like, it's not a big deal. Will I suspect a lot of people to be playing Sky Striker in the next few weeks? Absolutely, absolutely. But I don't think the deck is good enough. I will be very happy to be proven wrong. I would be very happy to be proven wrong, but I don't think the deck is good enough right now. And Sprite Starter, it's okay. That's fine. I guess if we're trying to hit every tier 1 deck, sure. I don't think this does enough, but it does a little something. It makes your normal summon a lot more vulnerable, because now you're not going to open starter as often. So if your normal summon gets interrupted, you really can't play. And now you can't play E-Telly for Gamma anymore. But what you can start doing is you can start playing Assault Synchron. That card will be released later this month, and that's just like a free level 2. So if you start playing Assault Synchron, Sprite Starter matters less and less. And for that reason, I don't think Starter to 2 is going to do much. And lastly, the Unlimits. Steam the Cloak, it's fine. I don't. This card is really good. This card, mark my words, it may not happen next month. It may not happen next year. It may not happen in the next 3 years. At some point in Yu-Gi-Oh's future, some deck will break Steam the Cloak. I can guarantee you that, but it's not happening right now. So just put it at 3. Gen X Ally Birdman, same thing. Just put it at 3. It does nothing. Samsara Lotus, it's part of an old FTK that's not even consistent. I don't even think it's playable right now, so who cares? Quick Fix, I don't know enough about Spiral to comment on this, but according to everybody that I've spoken with, as long as Master Plan is banned, it doesn't matter. So sure, Quick Fix to 3, whatever. Recital Starling, this card wasn't doing anything, so I understand why they put it to 3, but I am of the opinion, and you know, those who follow me will know this, I'm of the opinion that cards that soft once per turn searches should all be limited. So I don't think Recital Starling needs to be limited in terms of power level, but I wanted it to stay limited on principle. I don't like soft once per turn searches. Draco Face Off, I think every true Draco card is a war crime. And I think every Pendulum card is also a war crime. I don't understand why this is at 3. Let's just keep it all at 1. Honestly, let's ban every true Draco card. I never want to play against a true Draco card ever again in my life. But, you know, bias aside, it's probably fine. Bias aside, it's probably fine. And Sky Striker multi-roll. I don't know how I feel about this one. Multi-roll is really good because it makes your spells unrespondable, but it's also kind of a brick. Like, Sky Striker really wants to go second, and multi-roll is not a card that inherently helps you break boards. It's a card that like makes it easier to break boards, but you have to have the board breakers already in your hand. So if you play too many copies of multi-roll, that's gonna hurt you. If you play too many hand traps, multi-roll becomes less good. I could see like a version of Sky Striker with 3 multi-roll to engage, like Power Spell Sky Striker, with 3 Thrust, 2 Desires, 3 Tactics, Change of Heart, Mind Control, Droplet, like just power spells, just pure power spells as a go second deck. I could probably see that happening and being okay, but I don't know how good it will be. And personally, even though we have multi-roll to 2 in Master Duel, we had multi-roll to 2. I think multi-roll might be back to 3 in Master Duel. I still don't play multiple copies of multi-roll. because it's not a card that will help me break boards. And oftentimes with Sky Striker, when you're going second, you need every card in your hand to accomplish something in terms of breaking the board. So, yeah. Anyway, TLDR. Bans are good. Limits are okay. Semi-limits are okay. Unlimits are okay. But it's hit or miss. So limits, semi-limits, unlimits are hit or miss. All the bans, fantastic. Overall, it's decent. Cash tier is still the best deck. I hate to break it to you. Cash tier is still the best deck. That's the TLDR. Work Carlos, signing off.